Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics here, and I'm going to bring you two solo reviews. This is a 2-in-1 for
cool.
The Human Centipede. Now, Human Centipede came out 2010-ish, 2009, and it got a lot of buzz, and this buzz kind of got me interested because I heard it was one of those movies that you're either going to absolutely love or absolutely hate. And I'd seen so many like 4-star reviews and 0 reviews that I was like, why? Like, and so I didn't know anything about what it was about. So I went into the movie. All I'd seen was the image. Apparently somebody out there geniusly made a cat toy, like a little cat toy filled with what's the catnip, and it was a human centipede, where like the person on their knees with the butt, mouth on the butt, and it was like a 3-person long human centipede cat toy.
Oh, wow.
Which made me laugh at the time. I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then I saw that it was the human centipede, so I was like, is that what that movie's about? That's what that movie's about, folks.
Oh, God.
So
you're really cold. It's cold out here.
No, I saw the human centipede, and I have never hated a movie more than I've hated that movie.
So it's 4 stars for you.
It is.
You go with the 0 probably.
Oh, this is absolutely a 0-star movie.
Or a minus half.
This is like, you know how you broke your review.
Like paranormal. Do you have to break yours?
This goes negative. This makes you look at other movies with disdain just because you hate this one so much it just spreads like a virus.
Actually, this horrible weather made him think.
Yeah, this actually like. I compare bad things now to the human centipede.
But although he likes rain, and so
I do like rain. No, this just sort of reminds me of the atmosphere in the movie, particularly the second one, but we're coming to that. So anyway, the human centipede is really bad. It's about 2 girls who are going, I think their car breaks down in some other country. I'm not sure which one. It's been a little while since I've seen that first movie. And they are trying to find help. This scientist guy helps them out and then drugs them and then starts showing them what he's gonna do to them. And then essentially what he does is he unhinges their jaws, graphically, might I add, and surgically attaches the girl's face to an Asian man who he inexplicably, he
was just around.
Yeah, he just around, and attaches it to this man's butt and connects the intestinal tract into her mouth, so it's gonna.
So what's her jaw doing?
No, like her jaw isn't there anymore. So
so you took her bottom jaw off.
Essentially, that's what I think it happened because I mean you can't really see all that well.
So he puts his
and then he surgically removes like little triangle flaps that is now her cheeks to the man's butt, and
so
then
he's gonna crap into her mouth.
Crap into her mouth, and then she's gonna pass through that, digest it into the other girl's mouth, her best friend, who's in the back. And,
just 3 people?
Just 3 people, and he, there's a shot in the movie where the Asian man is like, and then he like helps pass it through into her. And on the page, this sounds kind of funny. Like when you're hearing about it, you're like, oh no, no.
Yeah,
but when you're seeing it,
it's just
when you're seeing it, it's not. Yeah, like it's not horror in the sense that this is scary. It's horror in the sense that this is gross. Why would you do this? But like, what is the purpose of this movie? And then you see him entirely naked, and they're being tortured and whipped, and like it's just the most like painful excuse of torture porn I've ever seen. Like Saws and Hostel, those have nothing compared to this. It's fetishistic torture porn, and you're just watching these girls get humiliated, and even these girls are behind a man. Like, I mean, it has clear statements about how this person thinks and views humanity, men and women, and all this kind of stuff. No matter what, they're going to be at the end of the thing. And like, I don't know. It's just
literally.
This is the worst movie ever. Oh my God.
That you've seen.
That I've seen. The Human Centipede. My God. And you'd have to really try.
So part 2 is better.
So then I'm gonna tackle part 2.
Well, how many stars? Are you gonna go minus 1?
I'm gonna stick with my 0. But
shit.
This 0 is with an exclamation point. This is the stamp of the worst movie. So I came in and I saw the second one. The second movie is
you may wonder why he saw the second one. Tell us.
Yeah.
OCD.
You're probably going to be curious why, if I hated the first one so much and I found it so offensive, why I would see the second one. If I see one, I have to see all. That's just the way I am. Like, it's why I've seen the Police Academies. It's why I've seen the Saws. It's why I've seen the Friday the 13th or any number of movies. And you know, sometimes you find a gem in there. Like Nightmare on Elm Street has a gem in there once or twice.
Well, this was free, did you say?
This was on Netflix, so I did not like outright pay money to go and see this movie. Okay. I made sure of that. So, Human Centipede 2. Happened, and the movie is entirely in black and white because I guess color would have been
ratings. Yeah,
probably. The plot of the second movie is about a man who's watched the first movie. He's a short, dumpy man with bulging eyes who doesn't speak a single word of dialogue in the entire movie. He has watched the first movie and he's such a fan he's created a portfolio of everything Human Centipede and taking quotes from the first movie and I guess trying to make commentary sort of like Scream 2 did a little bit, but it fails miserably, about this fan of the Human Centipede that is going to create his own Human Centipede. And so he's a security guard, so he just beats people who are in the parking garage where he works, and then he hides them in a warehouse that he's purchased and killed the owner of. And he wants to make a 12-person long Human Centipede. 12 people. So he's getting them all, but his real catch is he wants to get the star of the first movie to be the head of that centipede, the girdle. The ass end one of the bunch.
Oh, man.
So he... spoilers, sorry.
Oh.
He somehow gets in contact with her, and they do it kind of ingeniously, where you never hear him
he said
speak.
Ingeniously in a Human Centipede review.
There are glimpses of kind of
goodness in the second one. It sounds
well,
like
there's
it.
glimpses of good in the first and the second, but like everything is so bad that it trumps the good qualities so much.
Okay.
Like, he convinces her to come to the country he's in. I think he's in England or Wales or something, and he convinces her that she has an interview for a Quentin Tarantino movie. So she's excited, and she gets into the car, and he's driving, and she's like, "I'm so excited to do this. Who knew Quentin Tarantino would want to see me after the Human Centipede?" And all this kind of stuff.
So it's the woman. It is the woman.
It is the woman, and then he beats her over the head, and then the Human Centipede surgery in the first one was actually very surgical. Like, it was an actual surgeon guy in the movie. Since this guy isn't a surgeon, he does it with staples, with knives, and with duct tape, and that's how he creates his Human Centipede. And then they have one of the women is pregnant, by the way.
In the first one?
No, in the second. In the second one, one of the women is pregnant with a full-term baby about to give birth, kind of thing. So he's created this 12-person long, successfully Human Centipede with duct tape and staples.
What kind of, you mean just staples?
Like,
okay.
Kind of staples. And he creates his Human Centipede in duct tape, and so he his goal is he wants to see them shit. And so he puts a funnel down this girl's mouth, the front girl, and he pours beans and soup into it, and then he's waiting for her to poop, but she won't, and she farts into the guy's face behind him with close-up. And but she doesn't poop, and the guy's like, oh.
Is that what he does?
Yeah. So then the dude gets pissed off, and he takes a laxative with a little injector, and he stabs each one in the butt. And then there is, for about 2 minutes on screen, close-ups of people shitting, and that's the only time there's any color, is the poop is brown, and it splatters into the camera, it splatters into their mouth, and they pull out, and then they start throwing it up, and and he like forces them to swallow. The last girl poops and shits all over the wall, and then he goes up behind her, pulls out, and enters her, and has sex with her shitty butt. And then that's when this pregnant woman that he thought was dead comes awake and starts running. So then he chases after her out into the rain, and she's in a car, and she all of a sudden starts screaming, and she gives birth. And then she sees the baby. on the floor, and his head is against the like go pedal, and she's like, and you see the brains explode out of this baby, and she just drives away, and she gets away, and then he gets pissed, and he starts shooting everybody in the room, and the last girl gets out, and they have a fight, and big spoiler, I'm sorry, but everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. It is so bad, and he also is at one point masturbating to the first movie with sandpaper, and
that's not the best way to do it.
no, like the movie is just filthy and it's just gross for the sake of being gross. But you mentioned Troma before.
Oh yeah.
They have nothing on this. Like this is just
Mr. Rogers compared.
Yeah, this is just filthy. And I've read interviews. The director wants to make a movie that is just filthy for the sake. He wants to piss people off. That's his motivation for making these movies. And you know what? It works. But is that art? Like, what is artful about this? Like, why is this a necessity? Like, I've heard that there's art and controversy, but shouldn't you have something to say outside of like just a big fuck you to everybody? Like that. What kind of a statement is being made with this movie? There's no reason for it other than I'm gonna make you sick.
How did the first one end?
First one ended with everybody dying.
Oh, okay.
The last shot is the girl in the middle is just crying because she's the only one alive. A cop comes in and they shoot the two shoot each other.
Oh.
And then the first person falls down dead because I think he was shot, and the girl in the ass end was just so infected, and you see pus coming out of her wounds and stuff that she just dies from infection and from swallowing poop, probably. And so the middle girl is just left screaming there and screaming and screaming and screaming, and then that's it. And that's the end credits. And you'd assume that she's just gonna die there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously,
so
the
second one is worse than the first. I will say that.
Oh,
absolutely worse. Yeah, the first movie. I said the first movie is the worst thing I've ever seen. That was until I saw Part 2. That is hands down the worst movie ever made.
Until Part 3.
They are making a third one, and it's supposed to star the director. So,
the director
of the first two. His name
kind of like
something
Driller
Six.
Killer. Yeah, have you seen Driller Killer? That's kind of the same thing.
I haven't seen that one.
It's got that one guy. He's the director that he went on to do Bad Lieutenant, and he's
oh really? I like that.
Abel Ferreira or whatever the hell it is. But Driller Killer's a lot like, it's not anywhere as bad as I'm sure this is, but it's kind of just the same thing. Well, gosh, I don't think I'll see them.
Yeah, they're just not good.
Well, my question is, if they make 3,
if it's free, yeah, I'd have to see it. I would assume that'll be the last one.
Can't you just
that'll be made?
What'll happen if you don't see it? Like, how does your OCD work? Is the
I don't
world
see
gonna
it,
end?
but like people will come into that because I work at.
You want to be able to talk to people.
Some dude almost bought Human Centipede Dude, and he's like, "What do you think? Do you think I'd like this?" And I was like, "Honestly, sir, I'm gonna spoil a part in the middle for you." The dude is watching the first movie, that previous one, the one that you did not grab for whatever reason. Who grabs number 2 and number 2 alone? But anyway, he's watching the first movie and starts masturbating to it with sandpaper. The dude dropped the movie and he's like, "Oh, fuck no." Yeah, he just dropped it. He's like, "Oh, fuck no." And then he walked away and I was like, "You're not gonna pick that up?" He's like, "I'm not touching that." And I was like, I respect you, sir, but that does kind of suck because now I have to pick it up.
Now I have to bend over. Or was that his whole plan?
That could have been his whole plan. But anyway, like, I mean, just...
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if the DVD popped out of the case when he dropped it. When you picked it up, was it rattling around? Okay, good, we're safe. So, yeah.
It was... they're so bad. They're so bad. And they're only bad for the sake of being bad. Like, that's what his agenda is.
Like, Saw...
There's something artful even with the Saw movies. Like you can tell they're trying to make a continuous story.
I don't know if I've ever said it on a review, but the one thing I do like is like John. I mean, it's his point of view is it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go into it now. We'll say it first Saw, but so yeah. So it sounds like Human Centipede is just shit for shit.
It's just shit, and literally you see that.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Hopefully they only make one more, and you only have to watch that, which you don't have to.
Well, I mean, like, I don't, but like, if I'm critiquing something, you're always going to find the one person who is going to be like, well, you didn't see the third one, so you can't say that series sucked.
That's the big reason.
So that's also part of it too. Like that's why I've seen and read all of the Twilight movies and books.
Oh my god!
Like I can definitively say,
you want to be informed.
I can sit there and critique that and tell you why this sucks and for what reasons. And
you can't do that if you haven't.
I can't do that if I haven't seen it or if I've just only heard it.
Yeah.
Like I mean that doesn't count. I can't draw to the text.
Why do you have to? Why do you have to? Who cares? Why do you have to be able to critique everything just so you can?
Well, so I guess so I can engage in combat if need be. I don't know, but
all right, well.
Because you're always going to get the people who are like, well, you don't know because you haven't. And
then you can just say, well, that's fine.
You're right. I haven't seen it, and I can live soundly tonight.
Sleep soundly.
Sleep soundly, yeah.
I guess live, too. Yeah. Live and sleep. All right, is that about...
So that's it. We've talked far too much about
I can't believe it went that long.
Yeah.
It was kind of entertaining.
God, it's so bad.
It was kind of...
But, like, hearing about it isn't the same as seeing it. Like, you hear about it and you're like...
It is...
That's kind of...
I did a lot of laughing.
Yeah, like, that's funny. But when you're seeing it, it's done entirely seriously. And
I understand that.
It's not like, I mean, the idea of making a human centipede, that could have possibly worked if you'd done it sort of like a joke kind of movie and done it with humor, like a Sam Raimi vehicle. Like, you can do something like that and make it kind of goofy and funny, and they didn't. They played it as honestly and truly as possible, and like, I don't know, if you enjoy seeing women tortured for hours, crying and fondled in the nude, like, that's your thing and you might enjoy it, but it's not what I enjoy, and there's men in it as well, if that's your cup of tea too. Like, I mean, feel free to watch it, but I would suggest not.
All right. Well, there you have it. It sounds like you convinced me.
That's the human centipede.
Thanks for watching. This is a centipede.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
Now it's going to go backwards. All right. Thanks for watching, people. Have a nice day.